As people age, one of the most common complaints I hear in my practice is about declining leg strength. Simple things like walking upstairs, getting out of a chair, or carrying groceries start feeling harder. Many seniors assume it's just part of aging, but in reality, much of that weakness comes from choices that seem harmless, especially the foods we eat every day. I'm Dr. Nancy Weller, and today I want to talk about something most people would never expect: certain fruits that can actually make your legs weaker over time. Fruits are often seen as nature's healthiest foods, but not all of them are friendly to aging muscles. Some are packed with hidden sugars and compounds that silently inflame your joints, disrupt circulation, and drain your muscle strength. If you're over 60, avoiding these fruits could mean the difference between staying active and independent or gradually losing the strength that keeps you mobile. The truth is, as you age, your muscles naturally shrink, a condition called sarcopenia. You lose about 3 to 8% of muscle mass each decade after 50. But the foods you eat can either slow that process down or speed it up dramatically. Many seniors think they're making healthy choices by eating more fruit. They want to get vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. The problem is that some fruits are loaded with simple sugars like fructose and glucose, which spike your insulin and trigger inflammation. When inflammation rises, your muscles can't absorb nutrients properly. That means even if you eat enough protein or exercise, your body struggles to rebuild muscle fibers. Over time, this leads to tired, heavy legs that feel weaker every month. Take the typical morning routine I see with many of my patients: a bowl of fruit salad or a smoothie packed with bananas, pineapples, grapes, and oranges. It sounds healthy, right? But that combination can dump more sugar into your bloodstream than a can of soda. When your blood sugar spikes, insulin rushes in to clear it. If this happens frequently, your muscles become resistant to insulin, which means less glucose, the body's fuel, reaches your muscle cells. Without that steady energy, the muscles in your legs fatigue faster, recover slower, and eventually shrink. Meanwhile, your arteries stiffen and circulation weakens, starving your tissues of oxygen. That's why you may notice swelling in your ankles, tingling in your calves, or the sense that your legs tire easily. Bananas, for example, are often praised as a quick source of potassium, but for seniors with reduced insulin sensitivity, their high sugar content can backfire. Eating one banana can cause a rapid glucose rise, followed by a crash, leaving your muscles depleted. Grapes are another culprit. They're rich in antioxidants, but they're also loaded with natural sugars that digest quickly. For someone in their 20s or 30s, that's not a big deal. But after 60, your metabolism slows, your cells respond less effectively to insulin, and your liver converts that excess sugar into fat. That fat doesn't just sit under your skin, it builds around your organs, including your muscles, interfering with function and circulation. Another surprising fruit that can sabotage your legs is watermelon. While it's hydrating and delicious, it's extremely high in natural sugar and low in fiber, meaning it floods your system quickly. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, your nerves and small blood vessels suffer damage. For seniors, that's a major problem because the nerves that control leg strength and coordination are among the first to be affected. Over time, this can contribute to neuropathy, that numb, weak feeling in your feet or calves that makes walking difficult. Similarly, pineapple and mango, though rich in vitamins, have one of the highest glycemic loads of any fruits. They can cause repeated insulin surges that weaken muscle recovery and inflame joints. Canned or dried fruits are even worse. The drying process concentrates sugar to extreme levels, and canned fruits are often preserved in syrup. Even a small handful of dried cranberries or raisins can equal the sugar content of an entire candy bar. This overload not only stresses your pancreas, but also increases the release of advanced glycation end products, compounds that make your tissues stiff and less flexible. That stiffness is exactly what makes climbing stairs or bending your knees feel painful or restricted. It's not just arthritis, it's the chemical effect of too much sugar on your muscle fibers and connective tissue. The paradox is that fruits are supposed to be healthy, and many truly are. But after 50 or 60, your body doesn't process them the same way it once did. Your enzyme levels drop, your cells handle sugar less efficiently, and your recovery rate slows. So what you eat at 70 has a far greater impact on your strength than what you ate at 30. That's why I tell my patients to think of fruits as a supplement, not a staple. You don't need to cut them all out, but you need to choose them wisely and eat them at the right time. High-sugar fruits in the evening, for instance, are particularly harmful. At night, your metabolism slows to prepare for rest. Sugar eaten late doesn't get used for energy. It lingers in your blood and triggers fat storage and inflammation. That inflammation doesn't just affect your waistline, it inflames your leg muscles and joints, leading to stiffness in the morning. One of the most striking cases I've seen was a 71-year-old retired engineer named Robert. He came to my office frustrated that his legs felt weak despite daily walks and light exercise. His blood work looked decent, his heart was fine, and he wasn't overweight. But when we reviewed his diet, he proudly mentioned his healthy breakfast, a bowl of fruit with grapes, bananas, and orange juice. I asked him to stop that routine for 2 weeks and replace it with eggs, oatmeal, and a small handful of berries. Within 10 days, he told me, my legs feel lighter, his energy improved, and his blood sugar stabilized. The difference wasn't magic, it was simply removing the sugar overload that had been silently draining his muscles. The science backs this up. Chronic high blood sugar leads to a process called glycation, where sugar molecules stick to your muscle proteins. That makes them rigid and weak. It's like turning a flexible rubber band into a brittle wire. Over time, your muscle fibers lose their elasticity, your joints stiffen, and your strength declines. The good news is that the process is reversible when you reduce sugar and inflammation. Muscles begin to repair, blood flow improves, and energy returns. But you can't repair what you keep damaging daily with excessive sugar intake, even if it's from so-called healthy fruit. So what should seniors eat instead? Low glycemic fruits that are high in fiber and antioxidants, but low in sugar, like berries, kiwi, and green apples, tend to support muscle health instead of harming it. These fruits provide steady energy without the sugar spikes that damage your cells. Blueberries, for instance, are rich in anthocyanins, which help improve circulation to the legs and protect your blood vessels. Kiwi provides vitamin C and potassium with minimal sugar. Green apples supply fiber that helps stabilize blood sugar levels. It's not about avoiding fruit entirely. It's about being strategic and choosing fruits that work with your aging metabolism rather than against it. I also remind my patients that hydration and minerals matter. Fruits like watermelon may seem hydrating, but if they spike your sugar and drop your electrolytes, they can actually worsen cramping. Instead, pair low-sugar fruits with magnesium and potassium-rich foods like leafy greens or avocado. That combination supports nerve function, reduces muscle cramps, and promotes smoother movement. Another overlooked factor is inflammation. High-sugar fruits like mango and pineapple contain compounds that can increase inflammation when consumed in large amounts, especially in people with joint issues. Inflammation doesn't just cause pain, it directly interferes with how your muscles contract. When inflammation builds up in the legs, the muscle fibers lose coordination and strength. That's why some seniors describe their legs as feeling heavy, even if they haven't done anything strenuous. Once the inflammation subsides, mobility often improves dramatically. Over the years, I've seen countless seniors reverse leg weakness simply by changing how they approach fruit. They stop relying on sugary fruit snacks and switch to lower sugar, high fiber options. They stop juicing and start eating whole fruit with skin and pulp, which slows sugar absorption. They eat fruit earlier in the day when their metabolism is most active, and they pair it with protein or healthy fat to stabilize blood sugar. These small adjustments make a huge difference over time. It's also important to understand how fruit fits into the bigger picture of muscle preservation. Protein and resistance training are essential, but they can't work effectively if your diet constantly floods your bloodstream with sugar. Sugar blocks amino acids from entering your muscles, meaning your hard-earned protein intake doesn't do its job. By reducing sugar-heavy fruits, you allow your muscles to absorb the nutrients they need to rebuild. You'll notice not just stronger legs, but better balance, more endurance, and improved circulation. So the next time you reach for that tropical fruit smoothie or big bowl of grapes, remember that not all natural sugars are harmless. For younger people, the body can burn through them easily. But for seniors, each spike comes at a cost. It wears down your muscles, stiffens your joints, and saps your energy. You don't have to eliminate fruit completely, but you must be smarter about it. Moderation and timing are everything. I often tell my patients, your legs are your independence. They're what keep you walking, moving, living freely. Protect them like you would protect your eyesight or your heart. Every bite you take either strengthens them or weakens them. When you reduce the wrong kinds of fruit and focus on nourishing your body with balance, your legs reward you with strength and mobility for years to come. Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. It just means being wiser about what you put on your plate. So, if you're over 60 and notice your legs feeling weaker, take a closer look at your fruit choices. Those colorful, innocent-looking slices may be doing more harm than good. Replace the sugary offenders with fruits that nourish instead of inflame. Within weeks, you may find your legs feel lighter, your energy steadier, and your confidence restored. The solution isn't complicated. It's just hidden in plain sight, right there in your fruit bowl.